Have you ever really stopped to think about it? When you ask an American how they're doing, what's the one answer you hear more than anything else? It's not good, it's not tired, it's busy. It's become this automatic default state of being. So we're going to dig into this national obsession, and really try to figure out why busy is the new fine in America.
So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling here. Why is busy the go-to answer for everything? I mean, is it really because everyone's calendar is just slammed back to back from dawn till dusk? Or is there something, a little deeper going on? Something more cultural, maybe even psychological?
Because let's be real, that little phrase, "I'm busy," it's so much more than just a schedule update, right? It's become this cultural staple. It's almost part of our identity. It can be a complaint, it can be a brag, it can be a shield, sometimes all three at the same time. But here's the really fascinating part. So often that feeling of being busy has absolutely nothing to do with how much time you actually have. And this right here is the heart of the paradox. On the surface, "I'm busy" sounds like my schedule is full. But what it really means a lot of the time is my mind is full. We feel busy even when we're supposed to be relaxing, because our brains are just constantly running these background programs, worrying, planning, making endless to-do lists. It's an internal thing, not just what's on your calendar.
Okay, so to really get this, let's start by looking at the outside world. What are the external pressures? What is it about American culture specifically that just shoves us into this state of constant busyness?
Well, it's kind of this weird thing in American culture, but being busy has literally become a status symbol. We've somehow managed to connect a person's value directly to how productive they are. So when you say "I'm busy," you're not just talking about your schedule, you're kind of subtly saying, "Hey, I am important, I am needed, I'm doing things." And in that kind of environment, admitting you have free time? Wow, that can almost feel like admitting you're not important.
And of course, social media has basically thrown jet fuel on this fire with what we call hustle culture, right? You're just bombarded with it. People posting about their grind, their 5 a.m. wake-up calls, their late nights at the office. And all this does is create this constant nagging pressure that you should be busy too. If you're not, you must be lazy. So what happens? Rest starts to feel like something you should be guilty about, and your brain never ever gets to switch off.
This all points to something even bigger, how we think about time itself. In a lot of other cultures, time is something you just experience. You live in it. But here in America, nope. Time is a resource. It's something you have to manage, you have to track, you have to optimize every single minute. And that mindset creates this constant sense of urgency, this feeling that the clock is always ticking, even when there's nothing you urgently need to do.
Okay, so that's all the stuff pushing on us from the outside, but that's only half the story. Now we need to look at what's happening on the inside, because the internal experience, that's where this feeling of busy really digs in and takes hold, especially when we're not even working.
Yeah, we're talking about something called mental load. Think of it like all the tabs you have open in your brain's web browser at any given time. It's all that invisible work your mind is doing in the background, and man, it is absolutely exhausting. You can be sitting perfectly still, not doing a thing, but still feel the crushing weight of all that mental effort.
I mean, just think about it for a second. You're sitting on the couch trying to watch a movie, but in the back of your head, you're juggling your budget, you're worrying about that project at work, you're trying to figure out health insurance logistics, you're thinking about your parents. That is mental load, and it creates this incredibly powerful illusion that you're always busy, because even when your body is resting, your mind is sprinting a marathon.
And on top of all that, our modern digital life has pretty much wiped out any chance for true mental silence. There's always a notification.
Then there's an email popping up, yanking your focus away.
Then some news alert that just has to be seen right now.
And of course, the endless, mindless scrolling. See, our brains don't know the difference. They process all of this constant stimulation as effort. So even if you haven't done a single productive thing, you can end your day feeling completely drained and busy just from being digitally bombarded.
And this taps into a really deep anxiety a lot of us have, productivity anxiety. For so many people, the real fear isn't being tired. It's the fear of being unproductive. The idea that if a moment isn't being optimized or used for self-improvement or somehow monetized, then it's a wasted moment. And that anxiety, it just poisons any chance you have to rest, turning it into another source of stress.
And sometimes "I'm busy" is just a shield. It's a defense mechanism. It's the socially acceptable thing to say, right? It sounds a whole lot better than admitting "I'm totally overwhelmed," or "I have no idea what I'm doing," or "I just feel stuck." Busy becomes this convenient excuse when the real problem isn't a lack of time. It's just pure emotional exhaustion.
Okay, so what's the big deal? Why does any of this matter? Well, living in this constant state of busy has real, tangible consequences, and it should force us to stop and ask ourselves a totally different and, frankly, much more important question.
See, when busy becomes your default mode, rest just stops working. It's not refreshing anymore. And that puts you on a one-way street straight to chronic stress and total burnout. It absolutely kills your creativity, which needs empty space to even breathe, and it can lead to this kind of emotional numbness where your whole life just feels like one giant impossible to-do list.
For so long, pretty much all of us have been asking the same question. Why am I so busy? And we try to fix it with, new productivity apps or time management tricks. But here's the thing. We've been trying to solve the wrong problem all along.
The real question, the one that actually gets to the heart of it, is this. Why do I feel so uncomfortable, so antsy, when I'm not busy? Now that is the question that changes everything.
Because when you dig into that, you realize this whole thing, it's not about your calendar. It's about your identity and how we've wrapped it up in our productivity. It's about a deep-seated fear of being seen as lazy or unimportant. It's about all those crushing expectations from society, and maybe even more, the pressure we put on ourselves.
So, the next time you hear someone say they're busy, or the next time you say it yourself, just remember this. The schedule might be wide open, but the mind is running 1,000 miles an hour. And maybe, just maybe, the most radical, rebellious thing you can do in this culture isn't to hustle harder. It's to just let yourself slow down, and to do it without feeling a single shred of guilt.